let's perhaps start with the big breaking story today from Orlando Pirates. Dino Fenroyin leaves Orlando Pirates, a Stellenbosch player, captain at the time, signs for Orlando Pirates. It's a big deal. He is coming to Johannesburg, and I remember the celebrations in and around him and his cousin playing for the Big Two. You know, his cousin was out at Kaizer Chiefs, and he was going to Orlando Pirates. Both of them now out of those clubs, one back in Cape Town. Mark, I'm going to start with you on this one. It further insinuates and further pushes the agenda that coloured players, particularly from Cape Town, don't do well in Johannesburg.
Yeah. Again, saying he didn't do well in Johannesburg, I don't know if that is entirely true. Yes, now that he's leaving Pirates, it seems that way, but he started like a house on fire at the club. He did exceptionally well. Unfortunately, changing of the coach meant he fell out of favor. He never seemed to be on Wadu's favorites list, and it just got progressively worse. And with the talk, Pirates always bringing in new players, and there's new players in his position that were signed. Even though he did exceptionally well, I think he can be really proud of his time at Pirates. He represented them beautifully. He's won everything there is to win, pretty much, from a local perspective. But this one is a shock for me. I really, at 29, he's still got life in his legs. He's still got a lot of football in him. He's still, the quality is not diminished. And he probably, when you look at what he still wants to achieve, I would imagine that Bafana is still on his radar, something that he still wants to get, into. And
he's
maybe,
such a tough position,
getting away from Pirates gives him a better chance at getting a national call-up. I'm sure there's a lot of factors that went into this decision, but I was really shocked when I heard the news.
Biso, tell me about Dino Fenroyin at Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Mark in terms of the first season was good. I mean, he played 37 games in that first season. And if you look at his Stellenbosch career, it was around 30 to 35 games per season that he was playing there. So it's the same amount of games that he was playing at Orlando Pirates. And I think the one thing, though, would be probably the injuries here and there. He sort of like dropped out of favor at a certain point, an injury or two here and there. And last season, it was only 14 appearances compared to the 30-something that he would have played before. But I think, like Mark said, when a new coach comes in, there's a new preference that comes along with that. There's a new style of play that comes along with that. And you're looking at a Sebelebele coming in last season, came in as a winger, but then dropped back into that right back position. And he seems like he's playing the position the way that the coach wants a Sebelebele to play it. You see what he's producing even going forward. I mean, Dino Van Rooyen, I think he only got 1 goal and 1 assist in his time playing for Orlando Pirates, whereas Sebelebele is constantly in the box, constantly assisting, getting goals and all of that. So I think also a Lungu also coming in, he can also play that position when needed. So I think that's where it starts factoring in. But I have to agree with the fact that right now is probably the best time for him to find another team and play regular football, because with the unfortunate injury that Khuliso Mudau has suffered, that opens up that right back position again at Bafana now. As Zuko Mtinyela is going to have to play at Sundowns, I don't know if they are going to go in for a Dino also now, because they have an issue if you look at it right now with Zuko Mtinyela being the starting right back, and I think the only other right back is Kiken Johannes, who can play that right back position even though they're playing him as a centre back. They don't have any other right back. Murena, I don't think he's fully fit yet. You see, so there is an issue for Sundowns in that right back position. So maybe that becomes an option for them, or if he gets another team, you can be sure that he's a player that would be in contention for a Bafana spot if he's playing regularly.
Dino Van Rooyen, the message coming out of Orlando Pirates this afternoon. Orlando Pirates Football Club is proud to announce... No, that wasn't it. Why am I reading that? That was a different one altogether. But the press release coming out of Orlando Pirates, of course, as they say goodbye to their player, Dino Van Rooyen. He's been let go by the club. Like Mark says, in the time there, he has won everything, but just not enough games in the couple of seasons that he was there. Pro, what do you think?
Such a unfortunate spell at Orlando Pirates for the young man Udino. I really liked him. I liked him more at Stellies because it was an environment where he was comfortable in. I think the environment at Orlando Pirates challenged him a lot, and I don't think Uguti he did battle, to be honest with you. It's just that the level of competition that he encountered at Orlando Pirates was just too much. I think it demanded a lot from him. And when a player of his quality does not get opportunities as much as he liked, you would expect them to ask for a move, or you'd expect them to move. And in this case, I think this move will benefit him more. I think he's going to get a team that is going to afford him a lot of opportunities. All that we can do on Podcast Fridays is to wish him all the best, and hopefully he finds the team soon that is going to give him a lot of game time, because I think a player of his quality deserves to play more games.
Well, you've touched on it, Biso, so let's move on to it. Coach Cardoso confirming that Mudau is out for at least 6 months. Bear in mind that we've got the qualifiers, yeah? We've got the qualifiers now in September that we've got to play from a Bafana standpoint. It's a big one. It's quite a loss for Bafana, who are already suffering quite a few injuries. I mean, some probably back by the time that we play in September. I'm not sure how long Debza's out for instance. You got Mahopa that's out for as well. You got Mbata that's out as well at the moment. I mean, most of those are going to be back by the weekend and after that. But you just have a lot of these Bafana players at the moment that are out of use. But one that's now out for a long time. Oh, you've got Mbogazi as well that's out at the moment. Yeah, I mentioned Mbata, Timmy. Thank you. But yes, Coach Cardoso confirming it.
Obviously, it's a big loss when you lose probably one of the best African player on the position of right back. But and I can also tell you, because I just spoke with the doctor a few minutes ago, that it's confirmed a total rupture of the Achilles tendon from Kulisi Mudau, and the period up to 6 months, no less, of stop. He will be surgered on the next Monday and start the recovery process from there.
Pro Mudau, a part of me at some point said, Ash, maybe he needs a break. Maybe he needs to relax. And I thought, he's had a break when he wasn't happy at some point, remember? So he's fine. He had a break. But a huge one for us, yeah. Mark's favorite right back in world football at the moment, and one of our best players in this country at the moment. Sundowns will definitely be missing him, but for the national team as well. Mudau out for 6 months, and it wasn't due to anything on the field, but you know how an Achilles is. You're standing there by yourself. Doctor must tell you of how his happened. It happened way past his playing career. I think it was last year when he ruptured his. Gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm. But Andile, it's so unfortunate to see a player of his quality, Ilimala, at this crucial stage of his career. Number one, we look at his age, and we look at the nature of that injury. And for me, I think we might even see him out for up to 8 months, but I'm not a doctor, so this is just me looking at how long it took a player like Umshishi to come back. And when you look at Ukolis as well, with the amount of games that he played last season, I think it's going to be very, very long for him to come back. But I am not worried, because at Bafana level, I think Billy will always be there to cover the space. And it doesn't cost Konakatebe at Amazulu. I think the new national team coach will look at him as well for that right back position. So there are a lot of options in the PSL. I'm not that much worried, but a player of Sailor's quality, you'd want to see him playing football all the time. And we just have to wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully we'll see him come back before the end of the season.
Trust Pro to slip in one of his players. He doesn't even mention Matuludi, who you think is next in line. I think
Matuludi has not. He has not played in a single game this season.
By the time September comes, he would have played. Matuludi hasn't played, of course.
He would have played where? He would have played where?
What do you think of the Matuludi situation since we're there?
No, but I think whatever is happening in this situation, for me, I just want to see him on the field. That's why
it feels like what we've seen happen a lot, especially. It feels like he's forcing a move.
Well, I wouldn't argue that, but Andile, you'll never know with these players. And now with Kuliso out, who knows? Maybe you might see him at the Yellow Building. Maybe you might see him at Mayfair. Maybe you might see him at Naturena. Maybe you might see him in Durban. Who knows?
Yeah, because for Mamelodi Sundowns, like you were mentioning, with now Mudau out, yes, you've got the backup in Mdunyelwa, but you got to ask yourself, you mentioned the Dino Van Rooyen, there's a Matuludi that is obviously, it feels like, and I'm not saying this is what he's doing, I haven't had contact with the field, but it feels like he's trying to force a move to move from to a bigger team perhaps. So maybe that's something else. Let's start with the Sailor.
Yeah, the Sailor on my eye is a painful one, of course. You know, the best right back out there. You know, and it's sad to see him go out. I mean, even at the World Cup, you know, they were raving about what he was able to do, stopping players on that right back position. So it's a sad one, really. And like Upro was saying, it could be even longer than that 6 months. And if you're looking at the qualifiers, like you were saying, there's 4 of them before the end of the year. The other 2 are in March of next year. So if it was 6 months, he would be back probably towards the end of February. It would still be
a race. Be back for those 2, yeah.
You see, so it would still be a race to get him in.
So
now you're
4.
hoping
6.
What is it? 2 now in September.
2 now in there's 2 in September.
4 this year.
2 in September.
2 in November.
2 in November. Oh, and do you mean the ones in Feb as well?
Yes. So that's the worrying part. Now you can only hope that he's back for AFCON itself. You know, when we get to the end of the season. So it's a really sad one with the situation at Sundowns. Of course, Matuludi becomes an option. Like I said, Dino Van Rooyen also is an option. So they have the options because Mdunyelwa alone. It might be a bit of a stretch with the number of games that are coming up right now. You've got the MTN8, you've got the league.
Who better suits Sundowns, according to you? Matuludi versus Dino.
It's a tough one, but I would think a Matuludi probably.
Yeah.
I would think a Matuludi probably. Also, you have to factor in the height thing. You know, Matuludi gives them a bit of height at the back in terms of defending set pieces, which they have had a problem with in this season. They've really struggled with defending set pieces, so that would be the worry.
All right, Mark, you have the last one on this?
Yeah, again, my heart is broken, like absolutely shattered. I've had a long-term injury. It's the worst part or worst part of the game for any footballer. I had a 6-month, where I had to sit out for 6 months. It's not child's play, and the recovery, the coming back from there, it takes a lot of mental fortitude. But I know Sailor is strong mentally, and
very strong.
He'll come back. He'll come back strong, and we'll still see the best of Sailor in the future. Yeah, but like I said, my heart was broken, not just for Sundowns, but for us as a nation, because he's one of those. And you hate to say it because there shouldn't ever be an automatic starter at national team. But he is one of those where if he's fit and he's available, he's an automatic starter. Yeah. That just goes without saying. But now, yes, it just opens the door, and other players and other role players have to step up from a club perspective and a national team perspective as well. And the funny thing is, that is one of the positions, as much as, yes, Sailor is probably the standout, there's going to be a lot of competition now for that, because we spoke about Dino Van Rooyen, we speak about Matuludi. Pro mentions Radebe. You look at Tsepo Mashilwane out at Sekhukhune as well, who's done exceptionally well.
We've got an embarrassment of riches.
Exactly. So unfortunately, he's gonna miss. That's this rule of not playing against your parent club is so crazy, because look at what even now with what coach has said at Sekhukhune, that he's missing. Basically, he's starting left back and he's starting right back. And obviously Tsepo, because of he's on loan from Pirates, but 3 games in succession he'll miss. And those are games to make a statement.
Timmy throwing in Munyane in there as well. Okay.
I mean, he was called up. He was called up by Hugo.
He was in the prelim squad ahead of Radebe, bro.
Unbelievable.
It's 18:33 on the Mighty Me. I'll put Munyane every day on the Mighty Me HFM.